James Wortmann. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Spilling the Beans. Today, I'm sitting down with one of my 3-year veteran Legacy Family Mastermind members here at the Legacy Lodge in Franklin, North Carolina. His name is James Wortmann. He and his family have a $50 million real estate portfolio that they own and invested in with all their own money, right? They never syndicated, they never brought on any investors. It's all 100% owned by them. And it's amazing to see what they've done over the past couple of years. And I'm excited to hear kind of what some of those pivotal moments are that help them get to that size in just a pretty short period of time. So let's go sit down with James. James Wortmann, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How about yourself?
Good, man. Dude, appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being in Western North Carolina, hanging out with the crew and talking about some high-level stuff. We got into some really good conversations over the past couple of days, and more importantly, dude, just deepened connections, right? Like playing poker till 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's been fun.
Understanding people's poker tells and all that stuff, taking their money.
You got really figured out.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'd love to do is hear a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. How'd you get started? How'd you start scaling? Where are you guys at right now? And then some of those, like, what were those pivotal moments or things, actions that you took, skills that you learned, hires that you made? Like, what were some of those things that really helped you continually hit the next level? And so we'll talk about that in a second, but give me a little bit about your background on how you got involved in real estate and business.
Sure. I went to college at University of Nebraska at Lincoln, and I got my business admin degree. I went all 4 years, graduated, and I got into real estate. I was like, I want to buy.
Why real estate? Like, why did you get into that initially?
I knew it was very lucrative, and I don't remember the quote.
Was your family in real estate?
Yeah. I mean, my dad started off with real estate and the body shops, but once he sold the company, we went full in to real estate. So
you knew, but that was before he sold it after you graduated from college, though, right?
No, he sold it back in 2021.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah, I went to college and I got into real estate. I got my real estate license.
Yeah.
Worked for somebody, and then I got my brokers because I didn't want to work for anybody really. So, and so I don't really do much like for other people. I do it mostly for family and friends, stuff like that. So
the brokerage side feeds the income. That's like your keeps food on the table income. And then you build long-term wealth on the real estate side.
Yeah.
And so what does your portfolio currently look like?
We've got anywhere from commercial flex space that are on triple net leases. And tenants range anywhere from gyms to churches to plumbers to electricians to just warehouse space. We've got a couple of boutiques that are in some of the bays, and then we have, that's in Omaha, and then in the Ozarks we have 13 Airbnbs. So we use that more like as a write-off. So.
And what's your total portfolio value?
Around 50, I'd say.
$50 million. Yeah, that's freaking awesome, man. And you don't syndicate, right?
No.
You use personal funds on all that stuff, and I know you guys have some big goals. I think you wanted to hit 150 million.
Yeah.
Is the goal. So we'll dive into that in a second. But what has been? I mean, it's amazing that you got to that point. Almost everything is in either Nebraska or Missouri, right?
Yeah.
And so everything is in one of those two markets, which I like. You went deep into a couple of markets as opposed to a lot of people who go wide, like I did, right? And then I went wide, and I'm like, I wish I was just in 2, maybe 3 markets at most, and I went deeper in those markets. Because every time you open up a new market, you need to access new resources, new attorneys, new local management. You got to find new contractors, figure out the municipality laws and rules and the building department. And like, if you just go deep and you develop those relationships in 1 or 2 markets, you know everybody. You have access to resources. You can lean on someone you're already doing business with from a couple of your other properties and bring them in a loop on this one. So I like that side of things. What's been a couple of pivotal moments, like looking back, if somebody came up to you and you're like, James, I wish I could get to $50 million. What kind of advice would you give them on a couple of those, what are those quantum leap either activities, skill sets, key hires to make? Like, what are those things that you wish you would have known 5 years ago?
It's honestly a great question. What I did personally was just got into this group really, and just met with higher individuals that have already met the level.
Yeah.
It's not like recreating the wheel.
Yep.
You just kind of follow that and just keep learning. And you've made mistakes. Everyone's made mistakes. And you just take those and apply them to your business where you don't make that mistake anymore.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been, I just don't recreate the wheel and just kind of copy and paste it into ours and implement it and just fine tune things.
Well,
So,
I think that's awesome because you weren't like jaded with the real world, a bunch of people lying and trying to scam you and all that kind of stuff. Like, I find that kind of people who have been in the real world, I'm not saying that you're not lying, I'm saying like people who have been in the traditional business world for a long time have been burned so many times, they've gotten kicked in the crotch so many times, they've gotten things happen to them, and then they think that everybody's like out to get them or everybody has an ulterior motive. And like I was the same way when I graduated from college. I just kind of started getting around other entrepreneurs, and I was like, dude, I like this guy. I like what he stands for. He tells me to do something, I just would go and do it. You know, like I didn't question it. I was very coachable, and you are that same exact way. You're very coachable. You're very okay. Hey, I totally get it. You still, ask good questions. You still reflect really well on things. But I think it's a cool skill set to have. And I see that in a lot of the younger entrepreneurs being like, dude, I'm just gonna learn from what this guy does, not question it because I believe in what he stands for. I know his core values, and he obviously knows what he's doing. Let me take it and attack it.
Yeah. And a big role model for me was my dad. So he's a hardcore, just what's the word? He made all the mistakes, and he and
kind of trailblazer, leading the way.
And he went into a problem and he fixed it and then didn't make that mistake again. So, and he's been a huge role model for me for just working your ass off and just getting it done. And so
I love that. How are you involved in these $50 million of property? How is he involved in the $50 million? Do you guys have employees? Do you guys self-manage? Do you guys use third party? Like, what does all that look like?
So in Omaha, I manage pretty much everything. The money, the leases, the maintenance, the tenant communication. It's all in-house. It's pretty simple when it's business tenants.
Yeah, the triple net stuff, man.
Triple net's huge. I love it. So
it's very like, we were just upstairs and somebody's like, well, when do I hire somebody to handle property management? And like, the reality is it's just a math equation, right? Like, hey, if you want to hire somebody for $60,000 and let's say it's a bunch of single family or small multi, and you don't have somebody who's actually on site, you say, hey, if I want to hire somebody for $60,000, okay, well, if I'm paying an 8% management fee, take 60,000 divided by 0.08, it ends up being, $700,000 or
something like that,
something what it was, and divided that over 12 months, it's like $60,000 a month is what you have to actually make in gross revenue in order to then be able to justify that salary.
Yeah.
And so that ends up being, if you're getting $1,000 a unit for multifamily, it ends up being about 60 units. And I know that a property manager can manage probably 150 units for one person if they're residential, right? But once you get into commercial, dude,
it's pretty simple.
Yeah, you can make that much in revenue, and it's all triple net, meaning the tenant pays for the maintenance, then the taxes and the insurance, and dude, they're business owners. They just, even if they want you to make a fix, they probably take care of it anyways.
Or their lease is like, it's on you. So
yeah. And so like, all you got to do is make sure the rent's been paid, and you're pretty much good to go. So how many units could you manage there? And not only that, but it's higher rent, right? You're not talking about $1,000 a month. You're talking about $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month, and it's just way more scalable. I got a buddy who owns about $100 million of property, and he self-managed all of it. Which some people are like, well, you have a job. Well, it's not that much work for him, right?
No.
He doesn't really. It's not like he's really picking up the phone in the middle of the night or running out to the properties in the middle of the night. It's not like that.
Especially
when you
dealing
have the triple net stuff.
And dealing with business tenants, it's a completely different ballgame.
Yeah.
I did property management for someone else, and I managed like 250 doors, and it was a big pain in the butt.
Yeah, I know, man.
So, yeah.
No, that's great. So, what does the next 12 months look like for you? Like, what do you want to accomplish over the next 12 months, and what skill set or what bottleneck do you think is in your way, and what skill set do you think you need to learn in order to hit that?
Next 12 months, I'd say, is just tightening the belt on operations and making it a little bit more efficient. I mean, I handle everything, so I'd like to get some of my time back. I mean, I still have time, but I like to be working on other things. So,
Yeah. Well, you're the. Would you consider yourself the CEO or the COO?
I'd be COO. Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad and I still kind of run it together, so it's yeah.
Well, I think the simple thing is like there's activities that are on your plate that you do on a daily basis
Yeah.
that are still, maybe they're not a lot of them, but there's still some that are $10 an hour, $40 an hour, even
Yeah.
$100 an hour
They
activities.
range, yeah.
Where you should be only focused on $1,000 an hour activities and more.
Yeah.
So I think if you guys had one person on your team, just a really sharp executive assistant or like assistant manager that could then be groomed into more of a general manager,
That'd
which
be my next hire.
takes
for
a
sure.
lot of things off your plate.
Yeah.
And now it allows you to focus on more the acquisition side of things and support your dad on underwriting deals and doing due diligence and or potentially raising private money.
Yeah.
That was one of those things that, as you were talking, I was thinking, if you went and raised a little bit more private money, you could really scale this thing because you have the experience and you guys have never done that before. You can easily get to 100 million with the level of where your portfolio is right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'd like to work on development too. We've built storage facility, not storage, just warehouses essentially, and I'd like to do more of those because sweat equity is a thing, and it adds up quick. So.
What is it? Do you know what the cost is, like price per unit, in order to build that stuff?
It's gone up and down, obviously with COVID, but we haven't done much since COVID, so I don't know as of right now. No.
I would think you can build like these flex spaces and the warehouse spaces because it's really just corrugated metal, open duct work, right? Concrete floors, like maybe you throw some bathrooms in, but they're pretty industrial type structures for like $50 a foot. And I'm seeing them on LoopNet being sold for $200 to $300 a square foot.
Yeah.
And like, now, obviously, $50 a foot doesn't include the land or the infrastructure. That's really just going vertical, I think, with it. Oxford's barking. Come here, buddy. So that's really just going vertical with it. But I don't know, if you're in for $100 a foot, you can double it.
Still double it. I mean,
it's a very real thing. There's some serious upside in that asset class. And I haven't done much with that. I've owned some storage facilities and
we've got waiting lists of people that just want to. I'm like, I have no space right now. I'm sorry, but
where do you find those tenants?
Honestly, I've put it on Craigslist, which is big in Omaha. I don't know if it's big anywhere else, but that's what the commercial real estate industry uses in Omaha. So Craigslist and just honestly, just people that have already we know good connections in Omaha. So
it's kind of like the multiple listing service for commercial real estate.
Yeah.
And you guys just list it for rent. And people start knocking on the door.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love it. That's great. So let's close out with this. How has your life changed over the past 36 months? What's like a big epiphany that you've had in the past 3+ years that you've been in Legacy Family, got to meet these amazing people, got to experience the awesome summits? Like, what's been the big aha moment that's helped you grow and helped you, scale your business and then have these big ambitions?
I would say just seeing the other individuals that are here already and just seeing just think bigger, and maybe not be how many doors you have, but just the ideas that get bounced off in the rooms. It's incredible.
Yeah, man, it's powerful. And it's like that borrowed belief of somebody building their business and seeing what they did, you being able to say, oh, I could totally do that too.
Yeah.
And the, what's funny is like the ideas. I noticed when we were up there, is like somebody said something. The idea was good, right? But more importantly, it triggered an idea in this person over here.
Yeah.
That made it, that was able to see that and improve upon that idea. And then somebody else said well, what about this also? And then boom, it was an epiphany for this person who had a question.
Yeah, it just gets the gears going in everyone's head and you just come up with a solution that'd be perfect. So.
Yeah, and nobody has to have the perfect or the exact answer. It's just the ideas that get stimulated and the thoughts and the brain waves that then start moving in different directions and the ideas that then come from that can then compound on each other and then eventually you do find the perfect solution. So it's really cool watching it actually happen in the rooms and seeing people play off of each other's ideas and strategies and, oh my gosh, you should talk to this person too. I'll make an introduction for you. I'll send you that document. I'll help you out with there. And it's like...
all it takes is just one connection and you could just... move mountains.
It's wild, man. Well, brother, I appreciate you being here, man. Proud to have you in the community.
For sure.
And just excited to see what you continue to do, man, over the next, what you've done in 36 months is amazing, and I can't imagine what it looks like for the next 36.
I'll let you know.
Proud of you, brother. Hey, appreciate you being here on Spill the Beans. We are here every Sunday sharing entrepreneurial information with you about how you can take your business, whether that's a real estate business or traditional business, to the next level. So I appreciate you being here. Please subscribe to our channel. Give me some takeaways, some great takeaways in the comments section below. We'll see you next week on Spill the Beans.